Alright, listen. I got a story to tell y'all. So I was sleeping earlier today, right? So when I was sleeping, uh, it's like Biden told me, Biden said, come down to the White House. So I go down to the White House, and Biden said, I heard you got powers where you can talk to God. And I said, yeah, I got powers where I can talk to God, or I can go see God in my mind and stuff like that. So Biden said, take my people to go see God. So I said, all right, I'm gonna take your people, I'm gonna send your people to go see God. So what happened was is that it was like a big diamond had crossed over the sun, right? But then it had turned into a little diamond, like the size of a moon that's passing over the sun. So a big light came in front of the people, right? They all lined up, all the Secret Service lined up. They lined up in the shape of the White House, and they all walked inside this big bright light. And they came back, and they was jumping for joy. They was like, we saw God, we saw God, we saw God. So everybody jumping and having fun, right? So then Biden said, man, so you can see God. He said, so bring God down here so I can talk to God. So you can prove to me that you can see God. I said, all right. I said, God, can you come down? So then God came down, and God stood in front of Biden. So everybody dropped to their knees. So I'm standing up. So then they like, P, drop down to your knees, drop down. So I'm like, man, I'm not dropping down. They like, man, get down. So I dropped down to my knees, right? So then God said, P, stand up. So I stood up, and he said, why are these people bowing down? Why are these people bowing down to me? I said, because they trying to show you some respect. So he said, all right, thank you. So God disappears, right? So then I sit down. Everybody else is still bowing down. I sit down. And when I sit down, I see a bullet come from nowhere, like a diamond bullet, come from just out of nowhere. And it's moving real slow, real slow. Everybody's still bent over. It's moving real slow, like time has slowed down, you know, or time had froze, and this bullet the only thing that's moving, and I'm moving real slow watching it. So I'm thinking in my head like, man, that's a bullet. So then I seen other Secret Service run out, and they put like a glass shield in front of Biden. So I'm like, man, what the fuck? So I still see the bullet going, and then the bullet hit the glass, right? And the bullet went through the glass and shattered the glass, and it was still moving slow. So then I'm like, oh shit, that's a bullet, right? And I jumped on Biden, and the bullet went in between my legs and just like hit the ground, right? So then I laid there for a couple minutes because I'm so exhausted. So then I got up, and I was like, oh shit, God tried to assassinate Biden. So I'm like, why the fuck would God try to assassinate Joe Biden, the president of the United States, right? So then, what happened? Oh, Joe Biden, after a while, I get up, after laying there for so many amount of time, I get up, and Joe Biden get up. He like, I need to go see God. I need to find out why he trying to assassinate me. So Joe Biden disappeared, right? And then back in my dream, I'm watching Joe Biden talk to God. So Joe Biden's like, why did you try to assassinate me? And he's like, he poked him. He was like, that's why I killed him, because he slaved him. And I was like, oh shit. And then God was like, then we disappeared. Then we back in front of the White House. So then So then I'm sitting there looking like, man, this nigga look like JF Kennedy. I'm like, man, history is about to repeat itself. So then I'm looking at shit, and I'm like, then I'm still sleeping. So then my last thought, God was like, I could have fucked all y'all in the ass. I was like, what the fuck? that shit blew my mind. That shit had me gone. I've been gone off that shit all day. That one wild dream, I've been gone off that shit all day. Real life, I'm out, Kodak Pop. Holla at me.